mind on the place of pain and take note of the pain by noting pain, pain, pain. When you have a good feeling, a pleasant feeling, then you just note pleasant, pleasant, or good, good, or happy, happy. What meditators know about different feelings is very different from the people who do not meditate know. When you are feeling good, you know that you are feeling good. And when you are feeling bad, you know that you are feeling bad. But that is not meditation. This is not vipassana meditation. Practitioner of vipassana meditation see and observe the feeling just as feeling. Vedanasu vedananupasi. Feeling just a feeling, not as the feeling of a person, not as a personal feeling, and not as a permanent or lasting feeling. Just as in the practice of knowing, going, when you are going, so yogi should here also understand feeling, feeling, feeling. The knowledge of meditators is diametrically opposed to the knowledge of ordinary people who do not meditate. The mind of ordinary people who do not meditate cannot remove the concept of being and cannot do away with the notion of self, atta. So it cannot be inside meditation. However, the mind of meditators can see that there is just feeling. There is just pleasant or unpleasant feelings. There's no one who feels apart from the feeling itself. The feeling cannot be said to belong to any person or being. He knows correctly and clearly the feeling according to the questions. Who feels? Ko vedayati. Whose feeling is it? Kasa vedana. From what reason do the feeling come to be? Kinkarana vedana. He knows that it is no being or person who feels. It is not the feeling of any beings or person, and feeling may come to be because feeling that feels taking the basic as object. Here the commentator tells us a story of a certain bhikkhu. The elder at one time, when he was sick, was groaning and rolling from side to side through the violence of his feeling. A young bhikkhu said to him, Bhante, what place is hurting? The elder said, Friend, there is no particular place that hurts. It is just feeling that feeds by making the basic its objects. The young bhikkhu said, from the time there comes to be such knowledge, is it not proper to endure, Bhante? The elder said, friend, I am enduring. Young monk said, Bhante, enduring is admirable. The elder endured. The windy humor burst up to his heart. His entrails lay in a heap on the bed. The elder showed this to the young bhikkhu. The elder said, is endurance to such an extent proper, friend? The young bhikkhu was silent. The elder, by yoking together energy and tranquility, reached aranship together with the discrimination and as equal-headed one, samasisi. He attained complete extinction simultaneously with death. You also know that this feeling does not last. When you have a painful feeling and you keep noting this feeling as a being, pain, 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 how long it take? It may take 10 or 50 minutes until you come to see that this pain is not constant. It is not one solid pain. There are different stages of pain and different moments of pain. One pain comes and goes, then the next pain comes and goes. You see, pain is not one continuous thing. When you can see through the continuity, you come to see the impermanence of things. Because the illusion of continuity cannot cover or hide reality. When you think of continuity, you think of things being permanent as lasting for a long time. When continuity is removed, you come to see the rising and fading away, the appearing and disappearing for things. So the knowledge or understanding of meditators is much deeper than that of ordinary people. There are different feelings. First, there are pleasant or unpleasant feelings, and then there are neutral feelings. But it is said in the commentary that neither painful nor pleasant feeling is hard to illustrate. It is an unobvious. It becomes evident to one who infers it thus that neither painful nor pleasant feeling is the central kind opposed to the agreeable and the disagreeable when pleasure and pain are absent. Like what? Like a deer hunter who is following the footprints of a fleeting deer and infers that the deer must have run on the flat rock. There is a flat rock, and on this side and on the other side, he sees footprints. But on the flat rock, he sees nothing. Then he infers that the deer must have run on that flat rock. He knows in this way. Here it went up, here it came down. In between, it will have gone over the flat rock in this place. So like the footprints where it went up, the arising of pleasant feeling is evident. Like the footprint in the place where it came down, the arising of painful feeling is evident. Like the inference thus, here it went up, here it came down, in between it went thus. It becomes evident to one who infers it thus. Neither painful nor pleasant feeling is the central kind, opposed to the agreeable and disagreeable when pleasure and pain are absent. You may have pleasant worldly feelings which are connected with things you come across in your life, sights, sounds, smells, taste, odors, thoughts, and things you think. You possess such as a husband, a wife, children. This pleasant feeling depends upon worldly things, so it is called pleasant worldly feeling, samisa sukha. When you have such feeling, you must be aware of it and take note of it as pleasant, pleasant. Sometimes you may have unpleasant feelings. You may feel sad. You may be depressed. Or sometimes there is something you possess, something of value that has disappeared or has been taken away from you. Then you get angry or you become sad and you feel sorry. These are unpleasant feelings concerned with worldly things. It can happen to meditators too when they think of something bad that has happened to them. When such a feeling arises in them, they must be mindful of this and note, sad, 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 or angry, angry, angry about whatever it is. Neutral feelings are neither pleasant nor unpleasant. Sometimes when meditators who are practicing vipassana come across sense objects, they feel neither pleasure nor displeasure, nor can they give give up the object. Here, neutral feelings accompanied by attachment arise in meditators. Such feelings are called worldly neutral feelings. There is also called indifference depending on worldly things, or indifference accompanied by delusion or ignorance. Iññanupika, literally not knowing indifference. You may also have unworldly feelings, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral unworldly feelings means feelings that arise during meditation. When you meditate, you may have good concentration, or you may see the rising and fading away of Namarupa. Then you feel happy. You feel so happy at that time that you just want to get up and tell other people about it. You can hardly contain or suppress this feeling. Such a feeling may come to meditators, especially when they have reached the stage where they see the rising and fading away of phenomena. That is Udiyabhaya Jnana. Meditators should not experience that feeling with attachment. They must be aware and mindful of that feeling. If they are attached to this feeling, they will stay in this stage, and won't be able to make progress. So that is unworldly feelings, ramisa. What are unpleasant worldly feelings? Sometimes you cannot meditate, and as much as you try, your mind does not stay on the object. You become discouraged or depressed. There is an unworldly, unpleasant feeling. Sometimes meditators have reached the stage of jhana and then have fallen from it and experienced some sadness or sorrow. Such a feeling must be noted, sad, or sorry, and overcome. There is a story of an elder Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna, who was very learned. It is said that the elder Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna taught 18 groups of students. He was a really great teacher and especially learned in the scripture. As many as 30,000 bhikkhus attained arahathood by just following his advice. One day, one of those students received one student reviewed the good qualities in himself and thought of his teacher, and then he reviewed his teacher. The student found that his teacher was still a worldling Thuzana and had not yet attained Arhathood. So he went to teach his teacher a lesson. When he had come to the teacher asked him, "What do you come for?" And he said, "I want to hear a Dhamma talk from you." The teacher said, "I have no time, I am very busy." Then the student said, "I will ask you when you go to the village for alms." The elder said, "Oh no, there will be many people who will ask questions at that time." The students kept asking for an appointment, but every time the teacher was too busy for him. At the end, the student told the teacher, "Pandey, don't you have time for at least 2 or 3 sittings? If you don't have any time, you won't even have time to die. Pandey, you are always busy. You are like the back of a chair. You are relied upon by other people, but you cannot rely on yourself. I don't want anything more from you." The student went away. Now the teacher was moved and decided to meditate on this event. He thought he would become an arahant in 2 or 3 days. He did not tell anybody about it. However, he could not attain arhathood. He passed through one rainy season, and at the end of the rainy season, he still could not attain anything. He felt sorry. So he wept. He wept and wept and wept and practiced for 29 years. In the 30th year, at the end of the rainy season, he was still a Puthujana worldling and had not attained anything. He became very sorry and wept a lot. At that time, a deity approached him and wept too. So he asked, "Who is weeping here?" The deity answered, "I am a deity." The teacher said, "Why are you weeping?" The deity said, "I saw you weeping and I thought I might get 1 or 2 attainments just by crying." The deity answers. Now the teacher was deeply moved and said to himself, "Now even the deity is making jokes about me. it is not proper for me to be depressed. He said to himself. So he removed his sorrow, continued to practice. Note and reject, and finally became an arahant. Although he was well versed in the Tipitaka, it took him 30 years to become an arahant. His obsession with this sorrowful feeling with respect to non-worldly things during meditation had been an obstacle to his attainment. And the neutral feeling during meditation, which are called mindful non-worldly feelings, occur when meditators reach higher stages of vipassana knowledge and experience the feeling of neutrality. They do not have to put in much effort in contemplating the object. It just comes to them by itself. So at this time, they have the feeling of neutrality, the feeling of equanimity. Such feelings are called neutral, unworldly feelings. When they arise in you, you must be mindful of them and note them neutral, neutral, neutral. In this way, meditators will be able to be aware of the rising and fading away of whatever feelings they are experiencing. Then they will reach higher and higher stages of vipassana knowledge until they reach the level of attainment. Feelings have to be noted. Here the origination factors are avijja, ignorance, tanha, craving, kama, phassa, contact, and dissolution factors are the absence of the same. The absence of avijja, tanha, kama, phassa. These are vayadhamma, nupasi. Or when meditators take note of them, when they arise, they will come to see their arising and fading away. They will also come to see that because there is pain, there are painful feelings. Because there is comfort, there are pleasant feelings, and so on. They may contemplate internally on their own feelings, or by inference, externally on other people's feeling, or both, internally and externally. There is a way feeling should be dealt with during the practice of meditation. By being aware of them, by being mindful of them, by taking note of them. When meditators see the rising and fading away of feelings, they won't cling to them. Without clinging, yogi can achieve the realizations of truth. So that is the contemplations of feeling in the feeling. Vedanasu, Vedananupasi, Viharati. There are 21 ways of meditation on the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So we need to remember the Buddha's assurance. Buddha gave this assurance. Yohi kosi bhikkhave ime chattaro satipatthāne evam bhavaya sattavisani, etc. Bhikkhus, verily, whoever is practicing these 4 foundations of mindfulness for 7 years can expect one of the 2 results: highest knowledge here and now, or if there be yet some remainder of clinging, the state of non-returner. This is the assurance of the Buddha. When yogi practice these 4 foundations of mindfulness for 7 years, you can expect one of 2 results: arhathood or the 3rd stage of sainthood. This statement is made for people of average intelligence. For people whose intelligence is not so keen, it will take longer. And for people who have keen intelligence and quick understanding, it will take less time. Such meditators may not even need 7 days to become enlightened. In the 58th Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, in response to the question put to him by Prince Bodhi, Buddha said, a bhikkhu who has the 5 qualities of striving, that is faith, health, honesty, energy, and wisdom, and who has the Buddha as teacher, we attain arhathood in any length of time, beginning with 7 years down to less than a day. In the end, Buddha said, a bhikkhu can attain arhathood in the morning after having been instructed in the evening, or can attain arhathood in the evening after having been instructed in the morning. There are many people who attain enlightenment in a very short time. Sometimes they just listen to the teaching of the Buddha, and immediately after the discourse, they reached enlightenment. One person, Subhadra, among those who gained enlightenment in a very short time, he was the former ascetic Subhadra, who became the last disciple to be taught personally by the Buddha. Sayādaw belonged to a different faith and did not seem to have much respect for the Buddha. But when he heard that the Buddha was about to prinivana, about to pass away, he thought, I have some doubts about the claims made by other religious teachers. The Bhikkhu Gautama, recluse Gautama, may be able to remove these doubts, and my teachers have said that such a person like the recluse Gautama rarely appears in the world. He is reported to pass away prinivana in the last watch of the night. Sayādaw thought like that. So he went where the Buddha was at that time and asked the Venerable Ananda to let him see the Buddha. The Buddha was only a few hours away from his death, so the Venerable Ananda refused to give Sayādaw permission to see the Buddha. The Buddha overheard their conversation and told Ananda, Ananda, let him in. Buddha said to Ananda. So when Sayādaw received permission, he approached the Buddha and asked him whether the esteemed religious teachers had really attained realization as they claimed or not, or whether some of them had and others not. The Buddha put his question aside and directly taught him the truth that only where the teaching of the Noble Eightfold Path is found can there be person who attain realization. The Buddha thus answered Sayādaw's question indirectly. Sayādaw was pleased with the Buddha's answer and requested to be admitted to the order. The Buddha asked the Venerable Ananda to ordain Sayādaw. Immediately after the ordination, the Buddha taught him meditation and gave him a meditation topic. Then Sayādaw went to a secluded place and practiced meditation. The commentary said that Sayādaw practiced meditation, walking back and forth. He might have practiced walking meditation as yogis practice now. In a very short time, within a few hours, Sayādaw developed vipassana and reached the higher stage of sainthood. Sayādaw became the last disciple ever to be personally taught by the Buddha. So now you understand people who have practiced meditation in their past life and so have accumulated experience can attain in a short time. But people who don't have such experiences need much longer to reach enlightenment. So believe you all yogi have paramis. You have to practice meditation again and again. You have to practice meditation continuously and meticulously. By practicing vipassana meditation, by noting every phenomena occurring at the six senses, diligently, by noting rising, falling, sitting, touching, standing, walking, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, continuously and precisely. May all yogis be liberated from suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.